Yep.
All right. In three, two. Welcome back to Toyota Sports Talk. Oh, the Summer Olympics right around the corner. It's going to be a great Olympic Games. Paris is going to be a great host city. And joined now by kind of maybe one of the big faces, one of the headliners, especially on the track and field side for the U.S. team. We have Anna Hall. She does the heptathlon. If you're not too familiar with the heptathlon, that is 7 different events over the course of 2 days. And she's the U.S. national champion going to her first Olympic Games. Anna, first of all, congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
How does it feel, that Olympic title now, Olympian?
It feels really good. I don't think it's like fully set in yet. Every time I see like friends or people around, they're like,
Yeah.
"You're an Olympian now," and I'm like, it hasn't fully hit for sure, but just super excited and relieved and ready to represent the USA. Yeah.
You know, you overcame a lot of adversity because you had heartbreak in 2021, kind of picked yourself up the canvas, and then this year battling injuries. So pretty rewarding, I assume, to kind of get there, right?
Yeah, yeah, super rewarding. Yeah, this my like Olympic journey story has just been like really, really hard and
Yeah.
so many different times where like hurdles were just kind of thrown in our path. So to finally be able to say that like I made the team and I'm gonna get a chance to, go there and fight for a medal, it feels really good. Like the weight of the world is like off my shoulders now. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I've talked to several, Olympic athletes over the last couple of weeks, and everybody's physically gifted, but not too many people kind of dive into the mental side because there's so much pressure, especially at the U.S. trials, because you have one shot. Can you kind of explain that a little bit, just the mental side of how tough it is to navigate?
Yeah, yeah. US Olympic trials, I think almost widely around track world is known as harder than the Olympics just because of that style of knowing like you have to be on today or like your dream's over. And our country's very, very talented and deep. So mentally, I think it's like the most challenging meet that we'll do, all of course across the 4 years. And heading into it, you just know like, okay, my dream's on the line like tomorrow. It doesn't matter if I wake up sick or if I wake up and my knees sore or swollen, like you just have to find a way to make it happen. So we prepare for that all year. But yeah, I definitely think it's a tough one. And I mean, not everybody's cut out for it. And I didn't think I was in 2021 either. So yeah, very hard.
Take me through this journal you have because I've seen some of these writings you do, and I assume
Yes.
that helps with the mental aspect as well.
Yeah, yeah. For me, I started journaling when I was coming back from my foot injury in 2021. A sports psych was like, "Why don't you just write down like how you want to feel in the competition?" And I was like, "Okay." And so it kind of now stuck and it's become a habit. And the night before the competition, I'll write down things that I want to feel tomorrow, like I'm the best, I'm this, I'm that. And it's not, I don't always even believe it when I'm writing it, but I'm like telling myself like tomorrow when I wake up, like this is who I am. And so that's something that's helped me a lot. And then I'll write down kind of little cues or things I want to remember throughout the competition. And so anytime I get a little bit nervous or like start doubting myself, I kind of like open up my journal and I'm like, nope, this is who I am today. And so it's been a really easy way to kind of manage the competition. So definitely a very useful tool. Yeah.
I've gotten to know you kind of over the past year a little bit, and following you, um, and I can tell you're a competitor and you hate to lose. But on that note, you're going to the Olympics for the first time. You want to enjoy what the Olympics have to offer, the Olympic spirit, embracing the opening ceremonies. How do you find that balance, Anna, of enjoying it, embracing it all, but also it's a business trip?
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a fine line, and I think I'm really happy with the way the schedule worked out, where I compete kind of towards the end of the games actually. So that makes opening ceremonies like an option. I think if I was at the beginning, I would just be bummed and like I can't go because at the end of the day, I'm there
Correct.
to take a shot at the gold medal. And everything else is just a bonus. But so yeah, this time I'm looking forward to getting to have I think I have like 2 full weeks in Paris before I actually compete, so, a little bit more time to kind of enjoy the village, and I think by the time I get ready to go, it's not gonna feel so big anymore. By that point, I'll just be like, "Yep, I'm here to do my job," so.
So the heptathlon, I'm curious, how did you fall into the heptathlon? Because it's tough. You got to specialize in a lot of different events. from javelin to shot put to hurdles to 800. How'd you fall into heptathlon? How did that all start?
Yeah, yeah. I always say that I didn't find the heptathlon found me, but I honestly it's out of stubbornness. When I started track, I was 7 and my two favorite events was high jump and the 1500, and that's like not a common double at all.
Nope.
It's the opposite. And I told my dad, I was like, I'm gonna go to the Olympics in both. Like I'm gonna be the first person to do high jump and 1500 at the Olympics. And he was like, no, like that's not really how it works. And of course, not wanting to like crush my dreams was like politely like, that's no. And so everybody kept trying to get me to kind of choose a path as I was getting older, whether that be like distance or jumps. And I was just like, no, like I'm always going to do both. And so then they're like, why don't you try this one event where you get to do everything? Like kind of seems up your alley. And I did one and then just loved it and kind of never looked back.
I love that. And obviously, you've been successful. I believe you've won silver and bronze at the World Championships, and now we're leveling up here at the Olympic Games. Have you allowed yourself to visualize winning that gold medal? Are you there yet? Like that visualization mode?
Definitely. I think, honestly, last year in our minds, in my head, I'm like, I messed up coming home with silver. And so I went into that world championships, like wanting to win. Not hard to say, like expecting myself to win, but like that was a standard for myself for sure.
Yep.
And so this year, that's no different. And now I'm like, I have an extra year of experience under my belt. Like really, like there's in my own head, I'm like, there's not an excuse not to at least be in the fight. And so that's something we've been thinking about, talking about all year. And that's been like the biggest motivator of like, okay, well, how does this help us like be on top of the podium in Paris? And so yeah, that's definitely the goal plan. And obviously sports are unpredictable, but I think we've done everything that we possibly could do to put ourselves in a position to fight for it.
I'm so amazed at Olympic athletes, especially in track and field, because that's my background. Is like you have to be on. Like this is the moment. Like it's how do you not get nervous?
We do. I do get nervous. But I think partially the nature of our sport has kind of prepared us for it. But I've really had to learn, I think, over the last few years of my career to just like embrace those moments and almost get excited for them because I know that when the pressure's on, the moment's big, and I have so much adrenaline, like I have an opportunity to do something I've better than I've ever done it because I never get that much adrenaline and all those things happening in practice. So I'm like, okay, this is a chance to do something like better than I have ever done it. And like that's exciting to me. So I think I just kind of have to reframe it in my head using the nerves to my advantage. And I don't know, people who watch me compete, they're like, you're always kind of like bouncing around, like it looks like I'm having fun. And that's kind of my way of like coping with the pressure, I think, is like I just distract myself
Mhm.
throughout. And then when it's time for me to like execute on the runway, I'm ready to execute on the runway. But in between, I'm kind of honestly just trying to keep my mind elsewhere, not think too big. Yeah.
So story time for our viewers, probably wondering what's the connection with Anna to Washington D.C.
Yeah.
Last fall, I'm a big follower of track and field, and I ran track at Syracuse, as many of you know watching. Uh, so I know kind of the big faces of track and field. And at the Commanders game, I saw Anna on the sideline. I was like, why is Anna Hall here at the Commanders game? Obviously, I knew who Anna was just from the success of track and field, and then put two and two together. Anna's sister, Julia, is married to Washington cornerback Benjamin St. Juste. So that is the
Yep.
Washington, D.C. connection. So you have a lot of Washington fans here, Anna.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And it was so cool. Like a few people did recognize me when I've gone to Commanders games because
Yep.
I always do in the fall to go support Ben. And yeah, it's super fun to get to watch him do what he does live. And yeah, it was cool that people were like, "Oh, we know you." And I was like, "Oh, that's super cool." So it's fun.
What is that like having kind of incorporating a brother to the family? Obviously, Benjamin does a great job with the Commanders, very successful, and I assume your relationship is pretty strong. I know he was at the trials and supporting you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, like, I always forget to say the, like, in-law part, like, I'll tell people, I'm like, "Oh, yeah,
Uh,
my brother plays in the NFL," like, 'cause, him and Julia, they've been together for a long time, so he literally, like, watched me grow up, like, I think when they started dating, like, I was early in high school. So, he definitely feels like a big brother to me, and especially both being in sports, like, we text about things, like, if something's bothering me, I'm like, "Okay, like, my knee hurts, like, have you ever felt this
mhm.
before?" Like, and we encourage each other, so, yeah, he's just been, like, a great resource, honestly, to have, and, somebody to lean on, and I definitely look to him for advice and inspiration, so, yeah, he definitely feels like the brother role more than brother-in-law,
Yeah,
which is awesome.
he's a
Yeah.
great person on and off the field. Really enjoy talking to him in the locker room. And one of my favorite moments of the U.S. Olympic trials was that shot and that hug with you and your sisters. And I know you come from a very athletic background. Everybody's very athletic in your family. Just explain kind of that sisterly bond and how ultimately everybody pushes one another to be great in their sport and kind of in life.
Yeah, we grew up, yeah, in a very competitive household, like, everybody
Yep.
did sports or, like, whatever we were doing, it was always, like, do your best, like, we were competing with grades, like, anything that there was could be measured was a competition, and, which I think wasn't always the best when we were younger, but
Yeah.
now we're, like, super thankful for it, and, everybody in our family is definitely, like, a go-getter. But, my sisters, like, they've just been my rocks through really, I mean, everything in my life, but especially with track and, like, the injuries, like, those are the people that I'm calling when I come home from practice and I'm, like, in tears, like, I'm calling my sisters and talking through it, like, "Oh, this is so hard, I don't know if I can do this," and, like, they're the ones, like, every day picking me up and really just knowing how much everything affects me because they get me, they know me so well, and so to be able to share that moment with them was so, so special, and, I mean, I feel like they feel like they've been on the journey too, like, when I'm hurt, like, they feel down, so it's been really fun to be so close to them, and, yeah, having them there was incredible, that hug was I got even more emotional than I was expecting to, like, I knew when I saw my sisters after, I was like, "I'm probably gonna cry a little," but I was, like, ready to, like, ugly cry, so, yeah, that was really special for sure.
And you're ready to be an aunt.
Yes, yeah, I know. I'm so excited for Ben and Julia's baby girl to come. That'll be like literally my first stop when I get back from Paris is I'm gonna go to DC and see them. So, and I'll
Well,
definitely be at a few games again this fall as well. So,
well, hopefully you have a medal around your neck on those sidelines in the fall. Anna Hall, appreciate your time. We'll be watching and all the best in Paris.
thank you so much.
All right, much more to come right here on Toyota Sports Talk. Stay with us.